Hello, my name is Margarita. I welcome you to Poland, the beautiful city Kraków. Today it's our first pilot episode and I hope you will join us again to another country. Now we will ask Polish people about their culture and society. If you won a lottery and you have enough money for everything you need, what would you do?
Okay, I think I would never quit my job totally. It's not like, okay, I have enough money not to do anything for the rest of my life. I would use that money, for example, to start my own business in my interest or to have like money on the research in some areas. I would use this money also in the scientific terms in professional life, but not like quit my job or do anything. And I think also I wouldn't like just to spend it on expensive car or house. I would like to use this money to make my own business, like make my own enterprise in order to make it maybe more to develop myself, or of course also for my family. I would share it, I guess, with my family, with my parents, for them. I don't know, for their basic needs, I would say, but most of this, I would say, I would pay just to make some progress on professional life.
I would move to the mountains, probably to Alps somewhere. Yeah, one of the ski resorts.
Actually, nothing would change a bit, because I believe that if I will earn loads of money at one point, just straight away, like lottery, I would spend it if I would change anything in my life. It's better to invest it. It's better to still work and upgrade yourself, think about your future. You know, extra cash is good for investment, is good for planning your future, but it's not good to just, go and spend. But I think I would use some for travels.
If I won a lottery, I would buy or build a house for my whole family, and we will live there together. And I wish I could have enough money to build that house as big as I can and to provide all the greatest furniture in this, because it also depends. But yeah, this is my biggest dream, to be around my family, because I'm kind of far away from them and I have to go back every time I go home. So this is one of the goals, I suppose, when it comes to lottery. Yeah.
Some people believe that happiness depends on money. You agree with this?
I wouldn't say that it depends only on money, but for sure this is the factor that influences it a lot, because if you cannot afford any rent, you don't have place to live. If you don't have any money for food, for your basic needs, of course, it can affect our happiness a lot, but I wouldn't say it's the main factor. Happiness is general, like psychological term, and each of us decides, not depending on money, if we decide to be happy or not.
Partially. I mean, if you need money for existence, right? And for example, if I need a house for happiness and I need to work for for food and to do all my hobbies and stuff, then I need some money to be happy.
Yeah, I have to agree with it, because it's like, if you have everything without money, you don't have a lot, actually, because you have family. Your family is like everything you have, actually. You love them and live with them, but if you cannot provide money for them, it will be always hard. You will always have obstacles. And also, I think the proper way of living is the way in which you earn money in the way that you're expressing yourself. For example, I like pressure. When I put myself under pressure, I feel that I'm alive. So the more I earn money with doing tasks that put pressure on me, the more happy I am, actually. So if I will earn money in this way, I'll be happy.
I think money helps us to fulfill happiness, and not always money can bring us happiness. Of course, it's normal thing, but without money, some people do feel that they are unhappy. And for example, you can see that in like really bad countries all around the world, that money will definitely help you to develop, to, I don't know, to follow your dreams. And anyway, you have to like follow this, and you have to earn money, because nowadays it's important to have something to represent yourself. And if you want to represent yourself, you have to, I don't know, even look like a representable person. So as I said in my first sentence, yeah, money may help you to be happy.
What do you think about gender equality? How does the gender equality manifest itself in Poland?
Okay, so I would start from my personal experience. I would say that I never experienced that I felt less because I'm a girl from any guy, from any boy. And also I study computer science, and my degree is really specific. Like, we have really few girls in my degree. Most of this, they are boys. But I never felt like I should feel less because I'm a girl. And I can say it even was working the other way around, that they usually were helping me. They were like really caring, because in general it's said that the girls, they are like weaker sex. So I would say I felt sometimes they were really caring or helpful. So I think I have never experienced anything like this, but sometimes I have been reading some articles in Polish journals that, for example, the women get offended because get less money, less salary on some position just because she's a woman. So I have heard about situation like this, but I would say I've never experienced this personally.
Never felt this problem on myself, but I heard that there are a lot of trouble with it around the globe, and I heard that in Poland as well. So what I think, actually, we, for example, salary, we're supposed to get money for what we do and not for who we are. Whatever the gender, whatever the person is, it has to earn as much as they work. Because, for example, when I was working in England, I was building guns. I was making like 200 per day, and I had a friend that was making just 100. They're supposed to pay us for our work, and not for that we are, I don't know, English, or we are men, or we are women. Doesn't matter.
Is there a problem of sexual inequality or violence in Poland?
Okay, again, I would answer maybe similar to the previous question. I have never heard about this situation in my close environment, but I have been reading some articles in newspapers, in online journals, that, okay, it happens. Like, for example, that husband, he's hitting his wife, but in many cases it's connected with other factors like drugs, alcohol. So there is like a lot of bad things going on inside this kind of family. I wouldn't say it's a common thing that it happens a lot in Poland, because it's like you hear it from time to time that it's happening, so it's a problem, but I don't think it's that big issue.
No, well, not really, but I think there are some like single cases of some violence, because of the sexual orientation maybe. But I mean, in general, I guess it's not really it's not very bad, but it could be better, I guess.
Do girls pay for themselves on dates, or do men pay for them?
Of course, it depends on the guy if he proposed to pay, but I would say that in our culture usually it's really nice from the guy if he proposed to pay for a girl. And the other thing is because the guys proposed to pay, and then it depends on the girl if she wants to accept it or not. But from my experience, how I was going out with the Polish guys, I would say usually they propose to pay. Of course, not all the time, because there were boys in my age, so they are not earning a lot of money yet. They cannot just simply afford to pay for a girl every time you go out to restaurant or to the cinema. But usually they propose it from time to time.
It's rather men, I think, or both. But I think it's it's most of the cases like a first date or something. Yeah, that should be a guy.
It depends. Because, for example, I will tell it on my personal view. When I just invite a girl for a coffee or something, we're just going to a cafeteria. We usually go split cis. But if I want to arrange like a date for her and plan that day, it's my responsibility to pay for it. Because I can imagine that let's go diving or something. If I think about something expensive, I have to pay for it because it was my idea, yes. But if we go just for a coffee, come on, we can go split cis. It's not like really, but there are occasions and moments when men's supposed to pay. And I think in Poland, it's working like this. For normal meetings, we don't have like this. It's not so important, but on the real prepared date, man is paying.
Does sex education exist in Poland?
Yes, it does. When I was in primary school, we used to have sex education, even though it hasn't been called particularly sex education. It was supposed to prepare us to have our own family in the future. So it was about the relationships, about how to build relationships and family. And it was also from the physical point of view. So in theory, it was about to be about sex. But in a practical point of view, we have never really talked about this in an open way. They have never told us how to protect ourselves, like from some STDs, from any kind of diseases, and how to not get pregnant, just how to be secured. They never ever talked about this with us at school. So I would say it could be improved actually.
It's hard to call it sex education because we had something like that. It was preparing you to live in family, but it wasn't much about the sex. It was more about your feelings and expressing yourself in family and preparing yourself for future. But there were some events. For example, huge groups were making events for kids where they were learning about protection and about sex mostly, and about growing and when your body is changing. So, but those were small events from time to time. So I think we don't have, but something is going on. Yes.
How common is cheating in a relationship? What do you think about it?
I think it's really serious thing if one partner cheats on the other one. I have never been personally inside the situation. I have been into a serious relationship with Polish guys, and I have never been a person who cheated, and I have never been cheated on, so I don't have personally this experience. But around my friends, unfortunately, I know many cases like this happened, and in different age. So it's not just because we are young and we are stupid and we are wild. It also happens to the people who are over their 30s. So I would say it's a pretty big issue for us, because when it gets cheated, it's equal to the end of the relationship, because once the trust is ruined, it's ruined. We are not used to rebuild it. It can work again, I would say. It's not mandatory, that's the end of everything. But most of the cases I know, at least in Poland, usually it's the end. So it's really serious when someone cheats on the other.
It's not common at all, as far as I know, officially. I wouldn't like my girlfriend to cheat on me, and I'm sure she wouldn't like me to cheat on her. And all the people I know would probably be like that. I don't know any couple that would be okay. Go and sleep with whoever you want and come back. It's okay. So I guess it's not seen as something good. It's rather something very bad, something that destroys relationships rather than making them stronger or whatever.
Tough one. Well, I think that cheating is serious in Poland because it's about the trust, I think. When you have a relationship, you build something for years and you build it on trust. When cheat comes in, the trust is getting destroyed. So it's hard to maintain it afterwards, but it's pretty common in Poland, I must say. I think I met loads of people that done that, and they were not really ashamed of it. So I think the more further in future we go, the more cheats we will have.
Oh, that's interesting question. I have never encountered in between my friends with something like that. And also, it's a very personal question. But I think here in Poland, women don't think that much about staying in family, because, for example, in Ukraine, the woman will stay for her children in family to kind of raise children with a dad. Sometimes maybe it changed because I am also old-fashioned. But I think now women will go away, will have a divorce, and will rather start the normal new life rather than staying and be devastated by the cheating that was done recently by the husband. So, and when it comes to conversations about cheating, yeah, I think women speak about the cheating, and even among my girls' friends, we speak about that, and it's also interesting topic to discover. Yeah.
Is sex a taboo in conversations?
I would say it depends really on the environment, because, for example, with my family, we are not used to talk about sex. Even though I'm really close to my mom, we never had this kind of talk about sex. It's like this typical talk when a mom used to have with the teenage girl who just entering the adult life. We are not used to have that. In my family, it's like totally taboo. We don't discuss anything related to sex. But I would say around my friends, it's really okay for us to talk about sex. With the closest friend, we can discuss it with no shame in many details because we just feel comfortable. So I would say it really depends on the environment. It can be taken like a really big taboo, but it can be taken like the topic that we can talk normally without any shame, without any stress to be judged.
Young people tend to speak about it really casually, I think. When it comes to family, we only do jokes about it, but we are not really speaking about sex and stuff. Well, my father tried once, but when he started, I was like, no, stop. I know, it's okay, protection, I know, I get it. Yeah. But also, when it comes, for example, in schools, kids speak lots about it, I think. And that's because of the internet, you can see everything nowadays. So,
how do you feel about people of a different sexual orientation?
I think they're normal people. Like, the sex orientation doesn't make them any different. Like, it shouldn't be even considered like there is something wrong with them, or they're a different kind of people. We are all people, and I don't think it makes any big difference. If you like girl or boy, I have no problem with that. For me, it's totally okay. We are all just people. But I know from the political point of view in Poland, it's a big issue because there are some beliefs that it's just wrong, and these people who are homosexual, they shouldn't just show off their feeling on the street. It can be said that it's appropriate for them to hold hands when they are walking through the park. Also, it's illegal in Poland to get married. Like, homosexual couples, they cannot get married. So, I would say, in my personal opinion, it's nothing. We're all people. It's not a big deal if you're homo or heterosexual. But from the political and in public opinion, I would say it can be taken in the wrong way.
I guess the government, the government is really against different sexuality than straight people, I guess. So yeah, it could be a problem. But I mean, I don't know anyone, in my among my friends, who would either be like homosexual or, I don't have anyone who would be like trying to fight people with different sexual orientations. So, none of my friends are either gay or lesbian, or none of my friends are, against it. I'm not against it either. So,
Are abortions legal in Poland?
No. I mean, basically no, but there are few cases when it's allowed. There are actually, I think, currently 3 cases when abortion is allowed. The first case is if the woman has been raped. She's a victim of the crime in this case, and in this case she's allowed to do abortion legally in Poland. The second case, if the pregnancy threatens the life of the mother. And the third case, if there is big probability that the kid will be born dead or really, really hard diseases. So in these 3 cases, abortion is legal. But currently, we've been handling in Poland political situation that the leading party, they wanted to introduce new law, which would suppose to forbid abortion at all. So even in like these extreme cases, the abortion wouldn't be legal in this case. And it was like really big manifestations in Poland because of this. Woman, like not even women, like everyone was going out on the streets to just show off to the government that we don't agree for this. So finally they didn't introduce this law. But and I agree with this. I mean, I cannot imagine if something that horrible would happen to me, like to be raped and then to get birth to the kid. It's a baby, it's a person, but it reminds you totally horrible trauma you have to get through with. So I totally agree that it should be legal, at least in these few cases.
What do you think about foreigners and immigrants?
well, I mean, I have nothing against the immigrants. I mean, I used to be one for like 10 years almost, so I would be a hypocrite if I would say I have something against. I mean, come over if you want to, That's it. But yeah, suppose I think Poland needs immigrants at this stage. Maybe for work. That's why they open the borders. For example, you would find lots of Ukrainians or Belarusian people here in Warsaw. Similar like we Polish people used to immigrate. Like I went, for example, to UK, years ago. So I think that's how it works. For developing countries needs immigrants for jobs, and everyone's happy. Everyone benefits from it. Do you know what I mean? Jobs are covered, people get money. Send them over to their country so their country can develop. That's how it works, I guess.
It depends, because I think there are loads of kinds of foreigners, because I was one in England, and I realized one thing, that there are kind of people that go to the other country and try to build their own country inside, like making, for example, Polish stores and Polish bars and stuff like that. And it's fine, but they are not learning anything about the culture of the country they are visiting, and I don't like it. Whenever it's Polish people or other people, if you're visiting some country and you want to live in it, you should learn a little. Try to be a part of the society, because otherwise it's just it's pretty rude. They just come, take money, and go. Polish people do the same in England, in Germany, in Norway, and I think it's not cool. They're supposed to learn a little. So I like them when they like us as well.
Okay, it depends what kind of immigrant and foreign people. I have been living for 2 years in Warsaw, in our capital. So in Warsaw, it's really common just to see on the street the people from different countries, from different cultures, of course. Also in Poland, we are handling situation that many people from Ukraine, they're coming to Poland to take Polish jobs for really few money that usually Polish people wouldn't agree to work for, but still for the Ukrainian people it's better to come to Poland and work for this what we call like really few money, because situation in Ukraine is worse. It's like outsourcing system, but I guess it works always somewhere. Like Polish people, they also emigrate to, for example, Germany or to Norway or whatever to just get better salary. So I would say it's normal, but also Poland in terms of refugees, like coming from far away, we were close. Like for example, Germany, they took a lot of refugees. Poland, they closed, they forbid to take people from Africa. Like we don't have this big wave of migration here. The government is not that open for it.
They behave differently, I would say. And for example, my own example, when I'm, for example, in Ukraine and I see people around me, and I know those people, when I come back here, they act differently. And I think it's proven fact. I don't know why this happens. Maybe because of the country, maybe because they feel more proud of themselves in their country, or more insecure, like differently. But yeah, that was the fact that I observed. And some immigrants from countries not like Ukraine feel great here. They come here for an Erasmus program, they take part in different activities here, they are open-minded, they have no fear, to meet people, to have integration and stuff. So I think that it depends on the goal that the immigrant has. If the immigrant wants to, be a part of that culture, he or she will be. If not, that person will be separated. And for me, it's clear because I kind of experienced that myself. Yeah, this is my opinion.
And how you feel integrated into the Polish society? How many Polish friends do you have?
Like most of my friends are Polish people, and I wanted that from the beginning because I had a bad experience with Ukrainians here. So most of my friends are Poles, and I have only one friend, she's a girl, from Kiev, and she also a part of that small group. But also I still have connections from the Erasmus program courses, and we WhatsApp each other, we Skype each other from day to day. I have like friends all over the world, but as I said, not to making it longer, Poles are here the majority.
Do you believe in the soul existence?
Yes, because if there is the life after death, there is soul which survives the death. When we die, our body dies, but the soul flies to have fun by its own.
That's some kind of, but I think it's beyond us as humanity, and it will never be something that we can experience in any way. You can touch it, you can't see it. And we'll never. I mean, there are the technology develops, okay, but like I would say this is something on traveling with light speed, level, like this level of examining the human soul. If the humanity will ever be able to travel this, light speed, then they would probably be able to find out whether there is a soul or not. But so it's something which is far away. But we as humanity, we're much more intelligent, developed than animals, for example. So I guess there must be something, that makes us like that. But I wouldn't necessarily bind it to any religion entity, for example.
If I asked you to describe Polish culture in a few sentences, what would you say?
In general, about Polish culture, I would say I'm proud to be Polish, and I hope every person is proud to be Polish.
kind of influenced by Catholic religion, for example. We pay a lot of attention to like a church. I mean, even the non-religious people would still celebrate Christmas, but of course, it's coming from that. By tradition, and important part in Polish tradition would be family, I would say. Yeah, like I said, for example, Sunday, it's kind of like family day. People would go and visit their parents or, meet with other family members. We like our history. I think it's like every country. So yeah, a lot of tradition would be like history based, and we like to remember about it sometimes too much.
Beautiful cities. One word: architecture, integration, and adulthood. Yeah.
What is happiness for you?
Happiness for me, there are people who are around me, and basically I experience that you can live in many beautiful places, in many different countries, but what makes me happy, it's always people. If it's my family, if they are my friends, because I consider my friends also to be my family, and I think what makes me happy the most is there are people and how I can enjoy my time with them.
Living where I want, not where I must. For example, working where I want, not where I must, and doing whatever I want, not something that I must do. Having loving family, girlfriend, I guess, having everything what you need, that's the happiness, I guess.
It's this amazing feeling of fulfillment when you do something. Happiness is when you see someone from your family enjoy, or when they are making success. Happiness is when you see your friend coming from abroad and you see this person, and after a long time you feel the same, feel that this is your guy, and you feel happiness. Happiness is when mothers see his child for the first time. Happiness is beautiful.
To be fulfilled in life, I mean, in terms of the job and in terms of well-being, and also to have people around me that I value and that appreciate me, a part of my family, because it's for me the most important thing.
Sometimes we say that we want something from life. Do you think there's anything life wants from you?
I think life wants me to be a good person. Not causing any problems to the world, rather solving them. I think that's it.
I was afraid of questions like this, but on everyday routine, loads of things doesn't make sense for me, and sometimes I think that it's not worth it at all. But the life is bringing to me situations that puts pressure on me, makes me do stuff. When I do things and I feel that I were capable of doing like a little bit more to be closer to success, I feel it's like calling something, don't give up, just go further. I think that life wants me to keep trying and never stop. This is what I'm trying to do, but it's not easy.
I think maybe life wants from us a minimal package of contribution, like human contribution, to have children, to help, even though it's hard in today's times, to help nature, to help somehow our planet to go further. And also, I think life wants us to educate ourselves, because when we develop ourselves, we are better. So maybe this is life's mission for us, but also it's non-materialistic life. I don't know what it is, and it's hard to explain, but I would say like that.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you like it. Please let me know which country you would like to see next. Write any questions if you have them, and see you next time.